Here's the nightmare scenario for every artist, developer, musician, writer, or creative listening right now. You spend 2 years building something beautiful, you write an album, you code an indie game, you edit the film, you pour your absolute soul into it, and then you finish, export, and you realize the work has just begun. Because now you have to become a content creator. They tell you gotta dance on TikTok, you have to write hooks for LinkedIn, you have to spam Discord servers, you feel like a door-to-door salesman trying to convince people that your art has value. We call that selling out. And for decades it has been the tax you have to pay to be a creative professional. But what if I told you that tax was being repealed? We are seeing a shift right now that is as big as the jump from print to digital. It's called vibe marketing. It's a new paradigm where we stop obsessing over metrics, funnels, and conversions and start focusing on mood, world building, and atmosphere. Creative things. Today we're going to focus on exploring artificial intelligence. The very thing everyone told you was going to kill the artist is actually becoming a tool that saves you from the marketing grind. We're going to talk about vibe coding, the authenticity paradox, and how to build a marketing machine that runs on almost autopilot so you can go back to doing the only thing you actually care about, making good art. I'm your host, Chris. This is Riff Theory. Let's jump into it. Alright, before we jump into the tools and tactics, we need to talk about the philosophy, because vibe marketing, I understand, sounds like something a Gen Z consultant made up to charge you double, but it actually comes from a very technical place, and it comes from coding. Earlier this year, Karpathy, one of the godfathers of modern AI, coined a term you might have heard called vibe coding. The idea is simple. In the old days, if you wanted to write software, you had to obsess over syntax and semicolons. You are a technician in this format, but with the modern AI coding assistants, the human role has changed. You don't have to write syntax line by line. You describe the intent. You say, I want an app that feels like a 90s retro terminal and does X, Y, and Z, and the AI handles the how. You handle the what. There are various interpretations of how good this code is by real coders, but regardless, the philosophy remains. Now apply that to marketing. Traditional marketing is all syntax. It's SEO, keywords, it's A and B testing, button colors, it's optimizing send times. It's boring and it kills your soul if you're a creative. Vibe marketing is the application of vibe coding to your brand. Instead of a team of copywriters and media buyers, you have a marketing architect. That's you. That's the defining aesthetic, the person defining the feeling and the culture of everything you create, and then you use a stack of AI agents to go execute that vision for you. Think about it like this. There's those directors that don't actually touch the camera. They just stand there and say more emotion, darker lighting, and the crew scrambles around them. That's you now. You're the director, and the AI is the crew. And the best part is the AI crew doesn't need a lunch break, and it doesn't have to be as fully hands-off as you think it might be. This brings us to the biggest mental shift you need to make today. We need to talk about world building. For a long time, marketing was seen as interruption. You're watching a video and there's an ad interrupting you. You're listening to a song, here's a plug for merchandise. It's very transactional, and because it's transactional, it felt gross, especially to a creative or an artist that wants to maintain authenticity. Vibe marketing flips this. It says, stop selling products, start broadcasting a signal. If you're a musician, your Instagram posts shouldn't be ads for your songs. They should be artifacts from the world your song lives in. If you're a filmmaker, don't just post a trailer. Use AI to generate in-world news reports, character diaries, or propaganda posters from your movie's universe before the movie even comes out. There's a great concept here called the gift economy, and you might have heard it if you're a salesperson, so sorry. It comes from Lewis Hyde. The idea is that art creates a bond between the giver and the receiver. When you try to force a transaction like buy my album, you break that bond. You turn a relationship into a trade. Vibe marketing uses AI to flood your audience with gifts. A playlist of songs that inspired you, a generated visualizer for your demo track, or even a PDF manual for a spaceship in your upcoming sci-fi novel. Fun additional things that they may know is AI, and more honestly should know is AI, but is still a fun outgrowth of something authentically you. These are gifts and they cost you almost nothing to produce because you're using AI tools to scale them, your ideas. But to the fan, they are valuable pieces of lore. They pull people into your gravity. And when you finally do release the album or the game, they buy it not because you sold it to them, but because they want to support the world you've now put them into. So how do you actually build this? What does the vibe stack actually look like? We aren't doomers here. We don't just talk about theory, we talk about tools. So if you want to be a vibe marketer, you need to separate taste, that's you, from the execution, that's the machine. There are three main components to the stack. First, the nervous system. This is usually a tool, and one that I really enjoy using, that's called N8N. If you haven't heard about it, it's like Zapier, but on steroids. It basically connects everything in your world, as far as marketing is concerned and otherwise. Imagine a workflow like this. You record a messy, rambling voice note about your creative process while you're walking your dog. You upload that to Dropbox, NN8 sees the file, it sends it to OpenAI to transcribe it for you. Then it sends it to text to Claude to extract the vibe and write a poetic journal entry, all based on the prompt you send it. Then it sends that to Midjourney to generate you a moody abstract image based on that text. And finally, it drops a draft right into Notion. You get home, you look at the draft, you change a word or two, and then you hit publish. You just created a high-level piece of content without breaking your creative flow. That's the power of the nervous system. And it's a little bit complicated to get going, but there are things you can get started with, workflows that already exist. But once you actually are able to understand what this nervous system can bring you and how many components you can tie in to one little piece of creativity that you make, and to have it be pushed into the world in so many different formats that you may have otherwise hated creating, is a really powerful and fun thing to realize. Number two, you're going to need a visual engine. Midjourney or Flux, for example, Google VO. This can be your cinematographer. We've seen artists like Tyler, the Creator, use aesthetic consistency to build an entire era of music. You can do this now. You can generate a style Bible, a set of prompts that define your colors, your grain, your lighting, the things you see, your image. Every piece of content you put out will run through that filter. Number three, the community manager. These are your AI agents. This is huge for game developers or anyone with a Discord. You can build a bot that role plays as a character from your game. It answers questions, drops lore hints, and welcomes new members in character. It keeps the community alive while you're asleep. Now that's one that can question authenticity. As long as people know that it's definitely a chatbot, it can be fun to roleplay with existing characters. None of this should really be hidden. It should be known what you're using. Again, we're looking for authenticity and ways to expand our real creative, authentic soul that we're trying to offer in a scalable way. So let's address that elephant in the room, the authenticity paradox. I can hear the skeptics already saying, but wait, if I have an AI agent write my captions and generate my images, isn't that fake? Isn't that the definition of slop? And that's a valid fear. We're seeing a massive backlash against low-effort AI content right now because people hate AI slop, and I can understand it. There's some terrible stuff out there and some confusing stuff. But here's the nuance I think that we might start to understand is actually occurring. It's not the AI that people hate. It's the laziness. The paradox is that if you try to use AI to fake a personal connection, like writing a tearful apology using GPT, people might revolt. It triggers a moral disgust. It's kind of why people revolted against that Apple commercial, I believe it was, or Google, where they wrote the letter, personal letter. That's exactly what it shouldn't be used for. It shouldn't try to be you in place of the emotion. The solution here is structural authenticity, and that's going to mean two different things. Number one, the vibe must be yours. The AI is still the brush, not the painter. And if you ask ChatGPT to come up with a brand personality, you've already failed. The memories, the taste, and the cultural references, those must come from you. AI can be a tool to scale your creativity while you maintain authenticity. Number two, show the seams. Don't pretend the AI image is a real photo. Say, I generated this world to show you what's in my head. Because transparency and authenticity is going to build trust. People will accept AI if you're open about it and you explain why you're using it, and they might have fun with it. There's also a new counter trend called lo-fi aesthetics. Paradoxically, as AI gets better at making perfect glossy images, vibe marketing is moving towards the messy. Grainy textures, handheld camera movements, little typos. Creators are using AI to handle the back-end logistics, but keeping the front end messy and human. And it's the messiness premium, and for creatives, it's the perfect mix. So the takeaway here is if you use AI, curate it ruthlessly. One great image you selected from 100 images can be art. 100 raw images uploaded without looking at it is slop. Be the curator, not the hose. Let's look at who's winning with this strategy right now. Filmmakers, stop waiting for the movie to be done to market it. This is now a new strategy throughout the industry. Use Midjourney to share your concept art during the writing phase, or let the audience choose the aesthetic. By the time the movie comes out, they feel like they helped make it. And now you're not using paid-for focus groups, and maybe you enjoy the input. If you're an artist that wants to work in a vacuum, I understand that as well. You can still show them what you're thinking. For game developers, your code is your content. You can set up an automation where every time you push code to GitHub, you can say, added particle effects to fire spell, for example. It automatically triggers a script that records a 5-second GIF of that spell and posts it to Discord. The act of code turning into marketing without you lifting a finger or having to be a marketer, while you all the way maintain being the creator. Thirdly, musicians. Use the virtual manager. You hate emailing venues, you can train GPT on your band's press kit and have it draft personalized emails to 50 venues in the city you want to tour. You don't love doing that. That part's not fun and authentic. Use it there. It can check their calendar, reference their past shows, and pitch you perfectly. All you got to do is hit send. Or if you use NN8 correctly, you don't even have to hit send. It's funny, we began with the worry that AI would replace artists, but really so far we're seeing that AI is really replacing the booking agents, the social media interns, and the data analysts. Does anyone actually miss those jobs as far as the creator in this sphere? I'm sorry for those people, but really, I don't think so. I think that just leaves more room for the art and your specific vision. We're moving towards a vibe economy. In 2026 and beyond, features won't matter as much. Every camera is good, every app is fast. The only differentiator is really left how you make people feel. The vibe is a natural shortcut. It bypasses the logical brain and hits the emotional brain instantly. And for the first time in history, you don't need $1 million budget to build a world-class vibe. You just need taste, and the right stack can help. So in closing, let's bring this back to earth. The rift here is between human and machine. It's between the old way of doing things, grinding, shouting, interrupting, and the new way. The new way is quieter. It's more aesthetic. It's a little bit more automated. You don't have to be a content creator anymore. You can just be an artist who builds a world and lets the machines handle the distribution. So here are the 3 things I want you to do this week when thinking about shifting your mindset on this whole AI thing and creativity. Number 1, define your style Bible. Don't just prompt randomly. Spend a weekend defining the exact visual and tonal language of your project. Train a model on it if you can. That's a little bit more advanced, but if you have some advanced users, maybe the coders, they'll understand how to do that. And build a workflow. You'll kill it. Buy your time back. Here are the 3 things I'd love if you took a look at to try and start shifting your mindset on how AI can be useful to you instead of actually ruining the creative. Firstly, define your style Bible. Don't just prompt randomly. Spend a weekend defining the exact visual and tonal language of your project. Train a model on it if you can. Consistency is the only branding that matters. And if you think the way that I think, or a lot of creatives think, you probably already see the world in your head. Now you're able to put it down. Try to sit down and really write it out. It'll help the art, even if you don't use it for the marketing. Secondly, automate one boring thing to try and start. Try to download N8N or Make. It may feel a little bit advanced, but take a look at it. It might be creative for you. Pick the one marketing task that you hate the most. Reformatting logos, blogs, posting to Twitter, resizing images, and build a workflow to kill it. Buy your time back. You can even find a number of workflows on the internet already created for you that you just copy and paste right into your project. And number 3, switch to the gift economy. AI and vibe marketing aside, this is a good way to approach marketing these days. Stop asking people to pre-save or buy from you. Create one artifact, a map, a lore document, a visualizer, and give it away for free. See how the energy changes. The future belongs to the vibe architects. The sellout is dead. Long live the world builder. If you guys want to go deeper, the riff theory lives outside of here. We do a full breakdown on our Substack newsletter. We also have articles in written format if that's something you like. You can find us over on Apple Music and Spotify. And please check out our website at riffditters.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter, but also take a look at our artifact shop, where we have some real life human-made art that's transformed into AI art. And we kind of further discussion there through our actual artifacts, and we'd love for you to tell us what you think about that as well. As always, guys, my name is Chris. This has been Riff Theory, and we will see you next time.